blessed by the divine spirit who brings together this groom and this bride.
So with these words of blessing, we have the honor of welcoming you to your chuppah. This is not exactly tennis rackets, nor is it the sanctuary from wedding number 2. But here we are, under a beautiful sky, the sun is shining, we have the gathering of people together again, and we are reminded, Bob and Lynn, of how your love has grown in a world filled not only with shadow, but with blazing, beautiful light. And how the two of you have found a way to forge this love, to deepen this love, and to find the ways in every way you can to weave this world together because of it. I want you to take one of many moments during this wedding to look out at all the faces who are here. Take a moment to turn towards the iPad so that we can make sure that all those around the world who are tuning in can feel your love as well. And turn to face each other. Think of what it is to stand in this moment of blessing, the thread of love and relationship across time, and what this moment means for all of us. So this is one of many moments where you have declared your love together. One of many ways that we have built a wedding that has spanned over the course of some years here. And each of you have carried your own individual journey to reach this moment. And so as we do so often, at least in the context of Judaism, we like to take this moment to raise a glass. Not only to think of whatever may be our world, we have the capacity to fill it with blessing by the choices we make and the people that we choose to surround ourselves with. And we get to think about how we can take something as mundane as a grape, through time, energy, effort, and Monterey, we think about how we can transform into something far more powerful and potent. So we raise this glass and offer gratitude. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. And at the center of nearly every Jewish wedding, at least, we come to the number 7. It's the sign of completion. Maybe for the two of you, it should be the number 3, whatever it is. The idea is we want to surround you with complete and abundant blessing. And one of the customs in Judaism is that when we hear a blessing being said, our response is supposed to be the word amen. You may have heard this word before. It means, I affirm. And as we hear blessing after blessing, the invitation is for us to offer hearty amens, to shower you with blessing upon blessing upon blessing. So we begin.
You just took a sip of wine from one of your Kiddush cups, and traditionally the first of the 7 blessings, which we're taking our own take on today, is the blessing number 9. So I offer it to you once more upon your heads on this day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. May you always share a glass of wine together, and may the cup of life bring you blessings always.
And now to surround you with blessings. Those who are symbolically holding up your home right now, this chuppah, a reminder of how your home has opened your world to see and savor the blessing of this world, woven together with all of those who love you.
May you be blessed, knowing that the human heart is the source of all beauty, and may you always live in its radiance.
May you be blessed, having found in each other a true partner, companion, and best friend. May your sense of humor and playful spirit
blessed sharing these blessings with your family and friends, both here and gone, but always alive in your hearts, whose love and support have brought you to this joyous day.
Amen. And we have one additional blessing that we need to weave into this. And this is actually a blessing inspired by our groom today. And for all of us who are wearing jackets, it is a blessing, of course, to have fashion adorn us. And it is, of course, a blessing on a day such as this to remove such an adornment and to enjoy the freedom of air around us. And so Bob's blessing to everyone is, if you are jacketed, feel free. I think, Bob, we want to make this even more expansive for anyone who feels like they have too many layers on. Whatever you need to do, Bob is giving you the invitation here. And in addition to that blessing, one more. We are blessed to stand with, beside, and around the two of you. Blessed to bear witness to the stories of love that weave us, often across decades. Stories of love that are forged not simply through circumstance, but through devotion, through intention, through people courageous enough in a world that so often comes apart to decide to come together. And we are all given the bloom of radiance of the two of you, of a world that is made a bit brighter, because we get to bear witness to this choice, this choosing, and this love. And so we are all blessed as we say together, Amen. So we want to affirm the choices that you're making. So it is now an honor to invite John and Leah to come forward with your rings. I want to hand you the microphone so you can weave your own words of intention to these rings.
I am dazzled by him. That was not prepared. It just is. I'm almost speechless. This being our third ceremony, and the saying being the third's the charm, I guess I should feel charmed, but I do not. I feel blessed and have felt blessed from the very moment that you realized that our non-date dates were actually dates. And you didn't freak out, and you didn't flee. I took a leap across a table, and you caught me, and we've been leaping together ever since. There is just such joy within my heart right now because you give so much to me. How could I do other than hug you when you're troubled, cook for you when you're hungry, make you laugh when you're down, and when we're merry, make us both laugh louder. On December 15th, I vowed that I would love you as long and as well as I could. And this evening, in the presence of and embraced by our family and friends, I renew that vow with all my heart.
I think over the last year or so, we've learned a lot about living and loving. We've learned that definitely living together is so much better than weekends together, back and forth. I think we've also learned that sometimes weddings can be a little bit like vaccinations. You might need more than one. So I would marry you 100 times without hesitation. And last time I went through a catalog of all of your wonderful qualities. It's just, I won't do that again. I just want to say that you just are a man of such depth, warmth, compassion, and fun. It makes me want to be with you. You're the best companion. But speaking of best companions, the last few months or so, I have been a little less than one. My inner perfectionist, who I try to keep in check, was kind of raging out of control. And this is part of who you are. You just took it in stride. You know how to do life, Bob. You just do. You take things in stride. You move forward. You dodge. You pivot. You do what you have to do. But the joy remains. It's so solid. And when I'm tearing my hair out, you're making me laugh. It doesn't get better than that. And so I am devoted to you with my mind, my body, my heart, my soul, with all the best that I have to give for as long and as completely as I am able. I forgot.
Lynn and Bob, if you'll turn back and look into the faces of everyone who's here. And think of, again, these threads, these relationships that are woven together by all of these smiling faces squinting into the sun, the dazzling brilliance of your love. Think for a moment of what it means to have exactly this constellation of people. As we look back over these past 15 months, there is nothing about this world that made it easy to reach this moment. And yet you refused to be defeated in your vision of a wedding that would weave together the most important people in your life. You decided to make the most of what we could do and create that very intimate experience on West 83rd Street. You never gave up on the vision of what you knew this day needed to be, to fully feel like this was a choice. Because your love has never been simply about two people. It has been about two people that are themselves woven into a tapestry of love and relationship. And knowing that it is that entire tapestry that brings you together. And that there's no way to understand this love without understanding all of this love. So as you look at each other, think back to 1993. A very different world. A very different place in life. And yet what it is to already have the story of the two of you going back nearly 30 years. We live in a world where so many of us fall into cynicism because we believe we know exactly what is and what is not. And yet your love is a reminder to us of the mystery, the dazzling beauty that is sometimes hidden right before our eyes. The treasure that sometimes takes years to realize. And that is sometimes only in the perfect alignment of the right people, in the right moment, the right time, that brings forward the very thing this world needs most, which is hope. Which is a reminder that whenever we find ourselves in a place of feeling stuck, whenever we feel like our story has been written and is done, all we need to do is lift up our eyes to see the two of you, the authors of an incredible chapter of your story. That your lives are now aglow because of your choice to courageously author this new chapter. And for any of us who may find ourselves fixed and stuck, for any of us who may feel like we have been calcified in this world of uncertainty, you together are dazzling, Bob. You together remind us of how love can transform this world. perhaps when it sometimes feels most naive, is when we most need that reminder. Your love brings us all together. For many of us, this is one of the first times in a year and a half that we have gathered, that we have lifted up love, hope, and joy. And if there is any sign and symbol that best captures your relationship, it is this. It is this. It is what you have made and shaped together. May these 3 ceremonies be but a constant reminder to the two of you that you are the creators of sacred moments for all of us. And we are all blessed to be in your orbit, to drink in your love, and to hopefully be able to follow your path of courage, to shape our own story, and continue to be authors of blessing in our world. You are songs, songs woven together, and we are grateful that we can sing this love into being for us all.
The first time we spoke about your wedding ceremony, it was actually before the pandemic. So this was a song that you said, I want this to be at our wedding. We promptly put that on pause for much longer than we had even imagined at that time. And now here we are. My love, you are the song that sings inside of me. The song is always the same. It starts with love and ends with your name. More that I love you, there's more in you to love, and yet I just don't know how I could love you more than I do right now. They say that love grows old, but our love has turned to gold. You kissed my sorrows away, touched my heart. What more can I say? Each day my life is new, for God bless me with you. And when my life is all through, without a word, you always knew that all my life was you.
So we have one final set of blessings. Some of the oldest words of blessing we have in the Jewish tradition. Words of blessing woven through Christianity and in so many spaces around the world. We hope that this is a blessing that weaves us all together.
We said them to Leah at her bar mitzvah too. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May we all be blessed, kept safe.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
May we see in each other's faces the reminder of grace, awe, and beauty.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
And as we lift our eyes to see your radiant faces, we are reminded of the great blessing in this world, the love that leads us to the most potent blessings of shalom shlimut, of peace and of wholeness, as we say together, Amen. So, you decided who's going to smash, by the way? Not yet. So at the end of every Jewish wedding ceremony, we come to the breaking of a glass. And it's interesting that we begin a ceremony with a whole, complete glass. And at the end of the ceremony, we break it. This happens to be the glass that you drank wine out of at your second wedding ceremony. And the idea in weaving a moment of a whole cup into a broken cup is in many ways exactly the message that you remind us of. That we will find ourselves in times when the world comes apart. And it's then the question of what do we do in those moments. And it is figuring out how we pick up those pieces and we find a way to forge something new. Not the same for what was, but something glorious in its own right. See that in it we can lift up that blessing to praise, to savor, to enjoy in the community of love. Since you both have brought love, dedication, and devotion to each and every day of your relationship, since you have committed to each other not just once, not just twice, but now 3 times, since you look at each other with a reminder of how you are made stronger and complete because of your love and your choice, we are honored to celebrate that you, Bob, and you, Lynn, are husband and wife.
Thank you.